So today I just wanted to share my opinion with you guys about the Bears running back situation and about the decision to sign Montgomery or to let him go. And first off, I want to say that the average lifespan of an NFL running back is 4 to 6 years, meaning that usually most of these running backs are reaching the end of their career by the time they're age 27, 28. Now, in modern times, there are a few examples of guys who have played longer than that, but that's why it's an average and not, the norm. But this is a position that gets beat up a ton. We even saw Monty go down earlier this year, and he came back a lot quicker than I thought he would have, but injury should definitely be a little bit of a concern moving forward when evaluating Montgomery. So I'm not saying that Montgomery is not a good running back. He's overall a good player. He can block. He's tough. He can catch. He breaks tackles. There's a lot you see from him that's very positive when he's on the field. But when you look at NFL history in general, I'm always one who preaches that these guys are a dime a dozen. I'm not a fan of drafting a running back high because when you look at guys like Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Cedric Benson, I believe was a 5th overall, LaDainian Tomlinson, Chris Johnson, Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Christian McCaffrey, none of these guys have a Super Bowl ring. Now, I really believe that Elliott is a great example of this, because you handcuff yourself when you draft a running back that high, because even if he pans out and produces, it comes down to contract time, and their production dictates that they are worth the money, and they get signed, fall off a cliff, and don't produce, and then that money dedicated to them takes away from other positions on the team that are needed. So with that being said, Montgomery was a 3rd-round pick. So who's to say the Bears won't find another guy in round 3, 4, or 5 that could come in here and produce for the Bears, do the same thing. Montgomery's backup, Khalil Herbert, has also shown a ton of flash. Now, he does have his downside, mainly with his pass blocking, but the kid has shown that he can break tackles. He's got good vision, good speed. So what I believe is best for the Bears in this situation is to go into the draft with the idea of drafting a running back at some point. Now, you go into the season with the idea that you have a split backfield or a running back rotation throughout the season. Now, the reason why this is tough with Monty is because ideally you would want to give him like a 2 or 3 year deal, which is usually kind of like a prove it deal, but he's been here and he's been proving it. So it's kind of a slap in the face from the player's point of view. But at the end of the day, he's going to wind up going into another team and having to prove it somewhere else. So, I would have been okay with taking a guy like Josh Jacobs on the same type of 2-3 year prove it deal, but he was franchise tagged by the Raiders. And I think, trading for a running back is a waste. Derrick Henry's amazing, but I would much rather draft fresh legs than have to give up a pick to get Derrick Henry here. And at the end of the day, free agency really, the only running back out there right now is Miles Sanders. So the Bears should definitely look to the draft to fill this position of need, in my opinion. Thanks, guys.